You know that girl at work? The one that complains about the company in every single meeting? Refuses to wear the company t-shirt to the office picnic, but then acts personally wounded when someone finally asks if they're considering leaving? Well, you may not have that person, that girl or guy in your office, but we all know the government version of that person because Pennsylvania elected that person to the United States Senate. And finally, someone asked John Fetterman the question directly. And it wasn't some somehow friendly Fox News host like Sean Hannity teeing it up softball style for him. It wasn't a reporter in the hallway that he could just mumble past on the way to a vote. This was Jon Stewart asking him directly on his podcast. And this man in the hoodie, who has spent 2 solid years explaining to Democrats what's wrong with Democrats, had no real response. Even though Stewart laid it out plainly that Fetterman would agree with a Democratic Socialist-backed candidate on getting money out of politics, on the social safety net, on shifting power from capital back to labor. He agrees on all of that, but his big sticking point, Israel. Now, Stewart, being one of the smartest men out there, says, quote, "That's not our country."
So for you, you could agree with them 90%, but Israel is the red line.
Absolutely. Israel for me. Like I can't ever turn my back to Israel after where it's at.
So, and I mean no disrespect on this, but that is not our country.
Fetterman, of course, threw his head to the side like he had been slapped. It was absolutely crazy. And Fetterman had no answers for Jon Stewart. None at all. Trying to reference specific candidates, reference anything. Fetterman came up completely blank. So Stewart tried to spur him on about candidates that he could maybe get behind, like AOC or Bernie Sanders or Abdul El-Sayed. And Fetterman's response was to suggest that DSA members should just go start their own party, which is a very interesting position from a Democratic senator telling other Democrats to leave their party when he is the extremist in the party.
But if they don't agree with you on Israel, you don't want them in your party.
Well, I don't know who you're referencing to specifically.
No, I'm referencing what you just said.
Name
So
one.
in other words, Syed or AOC or Bernie Sanders, I assume you agree with a lot of what they say economically.
And what I'm saying is, like, if you are a DSA member, if you are a member of a specific political party, run under your own banner.
And I've got to ask, what does it actually take? What does it actually take to get this guy out of office? Who is going to primary this guy in 2028? And is it going to be the easiest primary ever? Tell me in the comments, because I cannot see this man surviving even through 2028 in his office. Of course, they tried to reframe this, saying that the Jewish community suffers when people turn their back on them. Jon Stewart did not let him go with it, because Jon Stewart says that the Jewish community and Israel are not the same thing, brother man, and that is probably the best way I've seen this argument put. And Fetterman, of course, had no answer. Shaking his head, had nothing. But you've got to take Fetterman as a package. We keep talking about all of these one-offs that by themselves should be terrible.
You're literally saying we can all have discussions, except when it comes to Israel, which is not America. It seems like a weird line to draw.
Well, so then, I don't think that's weird. I think what history demonstrates is that when people or a government or people turn their back to the Jewish community, things end really badly, and it's a dangerous.
Jewish community and Israel are not the same thing, brother man. They're not. That is not the same thing.
No. It's like, hey, it's like if I have to pick a side.
But when you add it all up, this man is a disgrace to the Democratic Party. The Mar-a-Lago visit, calling Trump an unbelievable political talent, backing Rubio, Stefanik, and Bondi for cabinet posts, calling the hush money case bullshit, and saying that Donald Trump should be pardoned. He even co-sponsored a Republican voter ID bill, and he has a joint PAC with a Republican senator. On and on and on, and it's not going to stop. He's on Sean Hannity more than most Republicans are. And because of that, Donald Trump has reportedly told Senate Republicans to start working on flipping him outright. I don't think it's going to take much. And at this point, this man is less a Democratic senator and more a Fox News contributor that just happens to have a vote. And I mentioned in my last video about Fetterman that a Quinnipiac poll has him underwater with his own state's Democrats. 54% disapprove of him. One Democratic strategist put it as bluntly as I would: he got elected on economic populism, and he's turned out to be a MAGA apologist. And then consider the timing. Consider how perfect this all is, because this same week that Fetterman's on film, unable to explain why a guy like Abdul El-Sayed doesn't belong in his party, El-Sayed won a Senate primary in a battleground state over the establishment pick. The exact strategy that Fetterman is out here defending got beaten by the thing he says cannot win. Guess what, John Fetterman? You're effing wrong. Maybe you should look in a mirror. And if you want media that will hold up that same mirror to a Democrat as fast as we do to somebody like Donald Trump or Fetterman, becoming a member or subscribing, those are a couple of great ways to keep us behind the truth. And we will hold everyone accountable, and we will bring you the truth every single time.